Hello, I'm Dr. Kritzer. This is a Parent's Guide to the IEP. Welcome back to Unit 3, Part 1. And we're going to talk about the IEP. Well, in a school, the IEP is a very important meeting that takes place, and the members of the IEP team will change depending on the child that is the meeting is about. Members of an IEP team would include a general education teacher, someone who is familiar with the general ed curriculum. It might be the referring teacher for that child, a special ed teacher to act as a consultant and perhaps provide some important insight to help the child, an administrator of the school that has the authority to provide services, or an administrator might appoint a designee with that authority. The parent of the child. The parent of the child is always on the team and a very important part of the team. A school psychologist might be on the team to interpret academic assessment. And there might be other personnel depending on the child's case, behavior specialists, vision specialists, a bilingual specialist, all depending on the individual needs of that child. The IEP timelines are quite specific. If a parent requests testing, the district must answer within 15 days. If a school wants to schedule an IEP meeting, they must schedule 10 days, must provide 10 days of notice, prior notice before the meeting. If a parent requests testing and a parent signs an assessment plan, there must be an IEP held within 60 days of that signature. And in some states like Nebraska, it's only 45 days. Every IEP must be reviewed at least once a year. We need to reevaluate a child's goals and the various settings where he's receiving services, because from one year to the next, that could change. And we also want to make sure that every 3 years, our children are reevaluated. And that's the whole process starts again, unless the team decides in cases of low incidence disability, that disability will still be there, and after 2 years, the team can decide that no reevaluation is necessary to continue service. So let's see what is on the IEP document itself. Well, there's various components to an IEP document. One of them is the present level of performance. This describes your child's strengths and areas of concern in reading, math, and written language, among other areas, perhaps social skills, academic skills. Every IEP contains measurable annual goals, and it's the industry standard, so to speak, that we would like to see a year's growth in each goal area. Another part of the IEP lists the testing, accommodations, and modifications for that child. Some children just need simple accommodations like large print or frequent breaks that will not invalidate their test score. But for some children, it's appropriate to modify their tests, maybe read to them or provide them with a lower level test. And even though that invalidates their score for reporting purposes, it might be appropriate for that child. The IEP lists the special ed services the child will receive and where. Maybe the child will have general ed inclusion for language arts, perhaps a pullout for math. Depends on the child. The IEP will list the related services that the child needs to access their academic program, such as perhaps counseling or occupational therapy of one of over a dozen possible services that child could be entitled to. The IEP will list the assistive technology that the child needs, anywhere from nothing to perhaps a laptop, or perhaps a board where they can point to various objects, depending on the needs of the child. The IEP talks about when parents will be informed of the progress of their children on their special ed goals. And parents must be informed of their child's progress at least as often as general ed does that. So it's a good idea to send home a report with their report card. The IEP will address transportation if necessary. Some children cannot be appropriately schooled in their neighborhood and need transportation, and we will pay for that, either from the home school to that other school and back to the home school, or in more severe cases, we will transport the child from their home to that place, back to their home at the end of the day. Some children need extended school year if they have a history of skill attenuation during summer vacations. Some children forget, and that's why an extra 6 weeks of IEP time might be provided for them. Children who are turning 16, and will be turning 17 the next year, are informed that they will be able to make their own decisions the next year in an age of majority statement, unless that individual case requires the child have a guardian. And finally, transition for children 16 and over is addressed. What can we do to help the child be successful in college or in the world of work, or if appropriately in an assistive living type situation? And that's what transition addresses. And so we have talked about the various parts of the IEP process, the IEP team, and the IEP itself. And I will be back with you again for Unit 3, Part 2. I'm Dr. Kritzer.